Hi, everybody. It's Dr. Lori. This is Ask Dr. Lori Live. I'm taking your questions, any questions, whatever you want, right? I'll answer them all. And what's valuable? If you want to know what's valuable, I'll answer that question. And of course, anything else you want to know. But right off the bat, I want to make you aware of someone who's helped you, right? Not me, only me, but this person helped you. So Rachel got in touch with us before we started because she said she's not going to be able to be here. And if you read this, she's unable to join tonight. She says that I appraised a brooch. Dr. Lori, a brooch you appraised for me sold $50 above the appraised price within 6 hours of her listing. Her commission equals the exact appraisal amount. And she thanks me. Here's how she's helping you. You all say, or a lot of people say, I shouldn't say you all, but a lot of people say, oh, Dr. Lori's appraised values are too high. It's not what the market will bear. That's not true. It's not true. There's proof in the pudding. And it's not about me being right. It's about somebody like you, who's a reseller like you, or a collector like you, who says, hey, you know what? I got the piece. I bought the piece. I had it appraised and it sold, right? That's basically, she's helping you. She took the time before. She's not even going to be here. And she said, I want to make sure that everybody knows that you're actually helping those of us. So there you go. And she helped you because she didn't have to write to me. I would have no way of knowing this happened. I have other stories like this, but I'm going to save those for later. So when I know a lot of groups say this about me, oh, it's too high. Oh, those appraised values, you'll never get that. You'll never get that. Hey, people are getting it. And you know what? They're doing exactly what I tell them to do, and they're getting the appraised value. So I know the market. I'm trying to help you to know the market too. Let's see what else is happening. Here's Lisa. I went to Salvation Army yesterday and I bought an Elgin watch for $2. Well, $2 is good. Elgin, of course, American watch company, Elgin, Illinois, very well-known 20th century watch company. I just found out it has 8 diamonds in it. Maybe she used my diamond tester to test those diamonds, right? You can get one too if you like, and it's 10K. So I guess she means 10 karat gold. Well, it's worth a lot more than $2, that's for sure. Depending on, of course, the type of gold, yellow gold or white gold will matter with respect to value. And of course, how many diamonds and the quality of the diamonds. Usually those diamonds are of average quality, but you're probably looking at anywhere between $85 and $150 for a piece like that. But again, I like to see it, make sure it's in working condition as well. So woo to you. You got that right. That's nice. For those of you who are asking now about the diamond tester, you can go to the specials and shop page. And on the specials and shop page, you'll see, of course, scroll down. It'll say go shopping now at drloriv.com. I do get compensation if you purchase one of those products through the specials and shop page. It helps. You help us by doing that to, of course, continue to do the videos and support everybody doing their work here. So thank you for that. Hi, Jessica. It's very nice of you. It's very nice of you. Oh, Jessica. Hi, Jessica. Jessica got in touch with me and actually told me this story. This is a wonderful story. I'm going over the words because I didn't know if she wanted to tell everybody, but I think it's wonderful that you've done this. I'm very, very blessed to hear this story. I can't tell you how happy I am that you're going to be able to get the medical procedure that you need because you followed along the advice I give in the videos and you were able to make and amass the money that you needed for that procedure and that you did the work, because you did the work to, of course, amass that based on my videos and based on my guidance. I'm so happy for you. I can't tell you. And I will continue to think good thoughts for your recovery. And I hope it's quick. Good luck to you, sweetheart. Oh, so you got me. I wasn't gonna talk about that. I'm very happy for you. I'm happy for all of you when you succeed. But a story like that one, where Jessica is doing well and is going to move forward with her health journey, is terrific. I really just think that's great. Why does it matter if it's white or yellow gold? Oh, because, there are at certain times in the market, yellow gold will be more popular, white gold will be more popular. So that's very, very typical. For example, rose gold was very popular in like the 2010 to 2021 time period or 20 time period. That was a revival of that interest in rose gold or gold with copper. during the early 1900s. So it was a revival actual style, and then it sort of fell out of favor. But yeah, it has to do with what's popular in the time, what's in vogue, right? So you start to see that. But yeah, it does matter. And carat weight, fineness also matters. If you're looking for fineness marks, they are on my website. Whether that's silver marks, gold marks, all different types of marks that you need to know are available at drloriv.com. The content on my website is now free, so you can go and check that out under research. So anyway, but yeah, a lot of amazing stories today. So we're having a lot of fun here. What's your question? And I always like to know where you're watching from. And those of you who are watching, of course, on the replay, I want to know where you're watching from too in the comments. So put it in the comments and let's see what your questions are all about too. You have 12 cordials by Hawks. So when I see that, I go, okay, those are cordial glasses, right? Those of you who don't know Hawks, major manufacturer, of course, of glassware. There's the pattern name. Yes, they're valuable. Why? The first reason why they're valuable has to do with the quality of the manufacturer and the brand name. Hawks, very well, of course, known and a very good quality manufacturer when it comes to, of course, glassware. In looking at the pattern, I can identify when they were made. So a lot of different ways for me to actually tell that. I can do that from photos as well. So cool, really cool. That's nice. If you got them, of course, hold on to them. The fact that you got a set, I was just saying this morning on my TV appearances. I do a bunch of TV appearances weekly, and I will say that I was just saying, keep the sets intact. And I was saying it sort of like that with the same hand gestures, keep the sets intact. So that's great. That's great. Don't forget to tell your friends about the videos. They, of course, can help you. And more sharing of course, the channel is always great for us and great for you guys too, because more of the community builds and you can learn from each other as well as from me. Super chats and super stickers are open if you want to show your support in that manner. We appreciate all of it. Keep watching. Found a large Jerome Myer platter that I would like to have info about. Okay, I need to see it. Your questions need to be, it's fine if they're specific like this, but your questions need to be the types of questions that everybody can get some information out of. I'd like to know some specifics. So when you send in a photo to the website, and you can find it right here on the homepage, hit that send photos, get report button. It looks like a little camera, that little icon. Click on that, fill out that form. I need dimensions, right? So I need to know how tall is it? How wide is it? This kind of thing. So I need dimensions and those photos. Photos for me should always be entire front, entire back, and a close-up of any marking or signature if there is one. Some of you will say, well, there's no marking on the bottom of my teapot, my ceramic teapot, Dr. Lori, so I'm not sending you a marking. I like to see the underside of a piece of ceramic too, even if it's blank. Oh, really? Why? Well, because there's a lot of information in the shape of that mold. Oh, I didn't know that. I know you didn't know that. That's why I'm Dr. Lori. But anyway, I'm just saying, if you can do that, that would be great. And I'll be happy to help. I'll respond to you quickly. And I'm the person who responds. There's not all these people here. I see these crazy things on social media. She has people working for her. She's not looking at all this. It couldn't possibly. Look, there is a staff here, but they're not looking at those pieces because they don't have the expertise to be able to review those items from photographs. So that's not what they do. Do they do a lot of other work? Yeah, but that's not what they do. I look at those pieces. Mary Beth, I had a friend who said I would never make money reselling. Well, they're wrong. Those friends, you don't need friends like that. Regardless of whose advice I take. Now she watches your videos and she's making side money too. Well, there you go, Mary Beth. I like this, right? So you and your friend who was the skeptic are both making money reselling. Yay for you both. I'm so happy that you're watching the videos. I'm going to tell you the truth, and I'm going to also tell you how to do it. Some of you find out the information from my classes, right? Like my selling class is very popular. You can sign up for those. Some of you get it from the website. Some of you just go, I'm watching the YouTube channel faithfully. I'm using the binge link. The binge link, of course, is also in the specials and shop page. You got to scroll down. It's a big red button. It says binge link right next to it. You can cut and paste that link, put it into your browser, and you can, of course, binge all of the videos. They're all in order. I'm so happy to hear that, though. Oh, you'll never make money. You'll never do it. Try it. all the people, all the real bargains, all the people, all the stories, right? Why can't it be you? Why? Why can't it be you? Right? You know, it's the way I feel about weight loss. Why can't it be me? I got to keep trying. So the same thing with you. Same thing with you. I love colorful blown glass. You know, everybody loves colored glass. Colored glass is great. It's beautiful. It's wonderful. There's, of course, the chemical reaction that makes this happen. But clear glass, colorless glass can be beautiful too. So yes, I do, and many people agree with me, and the market agrees with me that clear glass is desirable, and clear glass, of course, is very high quality depending on what manufacturer you're buying. So yes, but far and away people like colors, right? That's true in fine art, that's true in fine art like paintings, that's true in glassware, that's true in all different types of things. But for glass mainly, a lot of people will just use color in glass as a crutch because glass is very difficult to appraise. So a lot of people just say, oh, you want this color, oh, you want that color. And it's not only about color. But the clear glass can be valuable, and the colored glass is certainly valuable. So anyway, that's basically what we're seeing. But that's basically what we're seeing with respect to that. Having said that, a lot of people are collecting all different types of glass, and glass is interesting in all of its forms, whether it's pressed glass or cut glass or blown glass, iridescent glass, opalescent glass, all different types of glass. And this is why these question and answer videos, a lot of people like them and ask for them because I do things like mentioning all of the different types of glass that may not be what happens in other videos. So 6 clear Blenko glasses for $175. See, there you go. Brand name, Blenko, and time period is important too when they were made. So that's wonderful, Annie. I'm happy for you. You should be smiling just like your profile emoji. I like that. That's great. So good for you. Congratulations. Clear glass. See, you guys prove my points. Right? I've been doing this a long time. I don't just come up with this stuff. This is a long time in, right? Fern, darling, how are you? Purchased a Nichols and Stone child stencils rocker. Couple things. Nichols and Stone, very well known New England manufacturer of furniture, particularly rocking chairs. I will say that my family had a Nichols and Stones. Actually, there were 2 of them. My mother had one. My grandmother had one. Very same rocking chair. I think my sister has one and I have the other one. I found the black same exact chair that's quite valuable, but can't find the stain one. Do you know about these? I do know about these. Stenciled Rockers by Nichols and Stone are similar to those made by the Hitchcock people. Hitchcock also had those stenciled rockers trying to simulate 19th century hand-painted stenciled rocking chairs. But I've told you in my other videos, if you've been watching, especially the Thrift With Me videos that you all seem to love, that in fact, rockers, particularly children's rockers, can bring good resale value. So there you go. Yeah, I can help you with that. Send me a picture of it. Yeah, I can do an appraisal on that, certainly. Great. Good for you, Fern. I'm glad things are going well. Fern is one of the folks I remember, of course, and all of you been following me and reselling for a long time. So a lot of you guys are doing well and still at it. So that's great. Sherilyn recently found a beautiful Fenton green Carnival glass bowl. That's fun. In the holly pattern at Goodwill, and wondered what colors are more valuable, if any. Yeah, see, this is the thing. So first of all, it's the Fenton element that makes them valuable, right? Different colors are more valuable at different time periods. I'll make it simple for you. At Christmas, which colors are more valuable? You all know, red, green, right? At Easter time or in the springtime, you're going to see more blues and pinks. Those are going to be more valuable. So it has to do with seasons. It also has to do with, of course, what type of bowl it is, as well as the manufacturer. So that's what you're seeing. It depends on the time period in large part. So if you can grab a pink or blue, one of those bowls in November, right, you might have to just wait until April or May to sell it, right? That's not a terrible thing. Paige, thank you very much for the super sticker and for showing your support of all that we do. I appreciate that. And I appreciate you recognizing what we do. Is Franciscan Ivy China valuable? You know, China, particularly Franciscan ware. I was in a shop doing some some filming recently, and I was in 2 shops where I saw Franciscan ware, all kinds of Franciscan ware, beautiful. The platters, they had the whole thing, the whole set. It was a beautiful service. And I have to say that the prices I saw, the bargains were there. It was a pretty low price for that whole set. And in looking at the market, that china is quite valuable if you were to resell it. Now, remember, when I do the Thrift With Me videos, I leave everything there for you. So I don't go competing with you, buying it out from under you. What I do is leave it there and say, it's worth this much if you sold it here. We talk about that in the classes too. But yes, so yes. And china in general is very popular. You know what's funny about this? All of these people who have been saying, oh, the young people don't want vintage pieces. They don't want art antiques. They don't want any of that vintage stuff. Who do I see in all these shops? Young people. That's who I see. I see young people over and over again. So all these people who are chatting and saying all this stuff and don't know, I really do think it's a lot of misinformation out there, specifically about the markets. And sometimes they do it for their own gain. I've heard a lot of people who are grandmothers who said, well, the antique person who I was going to sell this to told me my grandchildren didn't really want this stuff. And I have to believe them because, of course, they know. Well, they may know, but they also have an agenda that they may want to get your pieces from you. And once you believe, oh, my grandkids don't want it, all of a sudden you're going to give up your antiques. So you got to be careful. So thank you for watching a lot, Walters. I appreciate that. And I like the kitty cat. All over the world you can watch. Of course, you can access the YouTube channel from all over. And of course, you also should sign up for my free newsletter. It is free and we'll send it right to you. All you have to do is go to our website. I have a set of 4 couriers and I have spring, summer, fall, and winter. Can't tell how old they are. You know what? I will tell you, the courier knives are difficult, but I have a web page on my website under research. If you just put it in the search courier knives or just courier or prints or whatever you want, you will find that right up there where it says search with the magnifying glass. Type in courier or Ives and it's going to come up. And you know what? I explain all the different sizes, all the different print methods, all of the different aspects of the courier and Ives prints because there are a lot of them and there are a lot of reproductions of them. So that web page is golden if you want to know about courier and Ives. A lot of this stuff is right on the website. So you can check it out there. But good question. And you can always send a picture too. Terrific. Thanks for these great questions. Keep them coming. Are bookends something that are in demand for reselling? Yes. Yes. People love bookends. Figural bookends specifically, I can think of a couple of different pair. I can think of the Native American ones that are very desirable. Also, of course, figural ones of different types of animals are very desirable. Of different materials are desirable. Hummel makes some bookends that people look for still. Mid-century modern ones are very popular. Metal with some wood, usually with walnut or such. And that's what we're seeing. I was in Florida recently doing some taping for the channel as well as a private event in the land of Disney, which was fun. And in that neck of the woods. And I have to say that, beautiful, just beautiful. When the weather starts to change, you got to get on your traveling boots. It's time to move around before it gets too chilly. Mary, here's Mary. Mary picked up a hobnail milk glass footed candy dish. Yep, after watching the video. I'll tell you, you know what? When you have an opportunity to get some of these pieces that I feature, there's a reason I'm featuring these objects, right? I don't usually feature the junk. I feature the stuff that you can either flip and make money or that would be great for your collection for whatever reason. I use my educated eye to try to get you to say, oh, I really want to take a second look at that. And, videos about something like milk glass, there's a lot of videos about how do you tell the good from the not so good? How do you find the ones that are more or less valuable? So those videos are out there. And I love that you're watching and I love that you're re-watching. I see a lot of you doing that when I'm on video calls with folks. There's one woman who said, I didn't really think you were going to call the video call. Who else would call? It's me on the video calls if you book one. So you can, of course, get me, privately, right on your own if you want on the video calls. But the telling the difference between something like milk glass is going to be something that really could help you long term, understanding how to identify the best of it. Found a movie script. Yeah, I'll tell you what. Movie scripts can be desirable and collectible. There are a lot of people who look for them. If they're signed, it's even better. And you'd be surprised at how many signed scripts are out there. And then which version of the script is it? That's always cool too. Is it the final script where everything's worked out, or is it them working through certain things with characters? So yes, it can be valuable, and I can appraise those too. Same thing with props from movies as well. Is Puritan a type of pottery? I have a few pieces my parents probably received as wedding gifts. Thank you for that. I don't think that term is correct. So maybe if you send me a picture, I'll be able to help a little more. Picture of the front, the back, and any marking. But if it came from the 1940s and it's still in good condition, there's probably somebody out there who wants it. So that's what we're going to be looking at. So historic Bucks County, there you go, Pennsylvania. And let me tell you, the deer are running around Pennsylvania. That's for sure. So Bucks County, but I don't think Bucks County was named for the Bucks. I think it was actually named for Buckinghamshire, which was William Penn's home. So from England. So that was kind of interesting. A little tidbit about your geography. Anyway, not important, but so yeah, a picture for that. But what is happening? Tips on spotting valuable paperweights. Yes, look for the brand names. I talk about paperweights on videos as well as on the website. Brand names like Cantonus, brand names, of course, Murano and such. I appreciate you trying to train your eye. The more you watch and the multiple times you watch, you probably will be able to get more information. And use the binge link, because a lot of you are missing videos that have a lot of information on them. You're just getting the new one and then you're waiting, for the next one that comes throughout the week, because we do multiples. Look at that binge link, because there are going to be some that you're going to be looking for. Look for lamp work. What's lamp work? It's where they actually are able to control the figures and the figures and the bubbles that are happening inside the paperweight. Not easy to do by artists like Paul Stankard. So that might be something for you to think about and look into. Great. Tiffany glass bowl at Goodwill last week, but there's nothing good at Goodwill. And how about the people who say, you're telling Goodwill all the values and now they're increasing the prices? I mean, come on. You really think that I have that much control, that I say one thing and all of a sudden Goodwill just raises all the prices? Let me explain what's happening. Everything is going up in value. Everything is going up in cost. Have you been to the grocery store? I was at the grocery store. I was having a heart attack the other day. So you know what? I'm telling you, everything's going up, but there's still such low bargain prices if you're thrifting. And if you're getting the objects that I focus on, that I point out to you, you're going to be able to do this. And there are a lot of you who get to me and go, hey, Dr. Lori, you don't have to keep telling these people who aren't listening to you. I'm listening to you. I know the objects that I should be getting. I know the makers, the names. I know what to look for because you taught me visually on these videos. So the rest of you will catch up. I'm sure of it. So it has Puritan slipware on the bottom. Yeah, see, that was different. Yeah, let me take a look, Nancy. Send a photo, and I want to see the pieces. I need measurements as well. So do that. And then you'll know, because there are different types of slipware, right? So slipware is a term that they use for certain ceramics. And then we have to see whether or not it's hand painted or hand glazed, or if it is just matte. So a Pairpoint cranberry vase for $2. Wow, Ladybug, that's good. So Pairpoint, of course, cranberry vases, very nice. Sometimes they also make those pickle casters. But a cranberry vase, and when you mention cranberry, that's usually referring to cranberry glass. $2 is very good. Cranberry glass is very desirable. It's a specific red color of glass. And Pairpoint, of course, is a great manufacturing company, New Bedford, Massachusetts. And the Pairpoint company also is very well known for their puffy lamps. The shade on the lamp, the glass shade, reverse glass painted and called the puffy lamps. And you look at them, you'll know them. How do you value and date paintings with no signature or markings? Okay, I've taught you this on this channel many times. And one of the things you look for is you look for the stretcher bars on the back. You look for the canvas. What kind of canvas do you have? Because there are different types. What age does the canvas have? I've taught you about that. You also want to look for type of brush strokes. Different brush strokes are usually the hand of different artists. So people will say, what do you mean? Well, female artists usually have a different brush stroke type than, of course, male artists. Also, you will find that artists who are trained in different parts of the world at the Pennsylvania Academy, those artists are trained different than the artists who are trained at the École des Beaux-Arts in Paris and or in Dusseldorf at the Academy there in Germany. You can see different compositional elements, how they actually compose the painting, the image, and also different brushwork styles from different places. So there's a lot that goes into what I do in terms of appraising paintings. But if you don't know, we certainly can talk on a video call, and the videos show you a lot of details with actual paintings where I have the actual paintings. I say, look for this, look for this, look for this. And that's on the videos. Did you know you could search the YouTube channel? Well, you can. You can just go to the YouTube channel right here, and there's a little search function of just the Dr. Lori YouTube channel. You're not searching all of YouTube. You're just searching this channel. So you want to do that. You can put paintings in there, and then all my videos about paintings will come up. You could also do it on my website. Hi, Holly. Are there certain pieces or brands that are still valuable even if it has a chip or a crack? Well, you know, there are collectors who will overlook the minor damage, right? So there are many brands of different things. I mean, if you're looking at ceramics, you know, like a Royal Dalton or a Royal Worcester or a Royal Copenhagen. I'm trying to think of, there's millions of these, you know, some collectors who say, I don't mind if there's a little chip in my McCoy planter because the plant is going to grow over. I mean, all different. But it depends. I'm a purist. I like the condition because the value relates to the condition to be perfect. So, you know, but that isn't always the case when it comes to old objects. Vintage pieces aren't always in great shape, right? As we get older, we're not in great shape. I certainly am not. So I would say, you know, think about that, but it will depend on the actual object. I need to see it. But, you know, art and antiques are like real estate. Got to be in good shape. Do Native American signed beads pieces have any value? Definitely have value, significant value. It will depend on the peoples or the tribe members who made it. It will also depend on the material. Are you dealing with sterling silver? Are you dealing with real turquoise? Are you dealing with red coral or spiny oyster, or what other materials you're dealing with? But definitely, and certain beads will actually have great value. A lot of people will overlook also beads that are not Native American. African trade beads are very, very high, very expensive to get those kinds of beads too. So don't overlook them. This is why I do this video, because this video answers your questions, the things that you're thinking about, so you can get those questions answered. But yes, Native American beads in general do well. Mwah, to you. To you. I miss you. It's nice to see all of you. I just thought I'd give you all a big kiss. Thanks for being with me. Other questions that we've got. I'm Dr. Lori. This is Ask Dr. Lori Live. I have a red or maroon colored glass vase. Okay, stop. You got to know the difference between the colors. Okay. Is it maroon, darker, you know, deep, dense, right? Or is it red, right? And there's a difference, right? Frosty maroon with a white frosty design. It's Asian maybe. Okay. When this happens, I'm not really sure. I don't really know. I'm trying to figure it out. That's fine. But you know what's easy? Send me a picture. I'll figure it out. I'll put you right on the right track. I'll go, this is what it is and this is what it isn't. Because once you get, and this is what a lot of the groups do. Oh, we're not really sure. Oh, I think it's this. Oh, I think it's that. And everybody's kind of weighing in. I think some of the groups are trying to help. And I think some of the groups are just trying to create more of the problem. You know, if you don't know, say you don't know. And I'll tell you, I was a university professor, for a long time. And one of the things that I always said in my class, if I don't know, I'm going to tell you I don't know. And I'm going to find out and come back. And I'm going to tell you what happened, right? What is the real answer? No one can be expected to know everything. I think some of the groups are helping, but I think some of the groups really don't have any idea. And they're just throwing out, oh, maybe it's this. Oh, maybe it's that. And that really could make you waste a lot of time, energy, and effort when you could be doing something much more productive. Are all McCoy pieces marked? McCoy started in the early 1900s, about 1910. Most of the pieces, in fact, are marked. That doesn't mean that some pieces couldn't get through and be mismarked, but usually they are marked. The seller could claim whatever they want to claim, But what they need to really say and what's appropriate is you either have a provenance background of why it was not marked, right? You got some kind of story and it's a credible one of why it's not marked, or in fact, which is this next part is probably what the case is. It's McCoy style. They don't know what it is. It's unmarked, right? And they're saying, well, it kind of looks like McCoy, but we're not sure. Honesty is what you really need from these sellers. Otherwise, I would say leave it with them. Don't buy it. That would be my opinion. Oh my gosh, she told somebody not to buy something. Well, yeah, and here's why. Because if they're saying, I'm claiming it's McCoy, but they don't have any way to credibly, show you that it's McCoy, then what have you got to really hang your hat on? Especially if you're trying to build a collection of McCoy, or if you're trying to buy it from them to resell it to somebody else. You have to know the inside, you have to know the background of these pieces. So I would say no, either it's McCoy style, it's like McCoy, or it's actually McCoy and it's marked. I bought a Makoto Yab Vase for $5. Yes, Frank, that was a good buy. Yep, that was a good buy. Hey, it's another cat. I guess it's a different cat. I don't know. The cats are out. Yeah, that was a good buy. Those can be pretty desirable. I want you to think about quality, and I want you to think about those names that are recognizable, right? So a lot of you might say, I don't know that name. You look it up and you say, oh, well, look at that, Can vintage and antique furniture without a maker's name be valuable? Definitely. Yep. Not everything has to be marked and signed. It has to be of good quality. Now, of course, a lot of manufacturers just ride off their name. The first one that comes to mind is Tiffany and Company. They're riding off that brand. The Tiffany and Company quality and design and beautiful pieces of the 1950s, 60s, 70s is not what we're seeing in the contemporary world. But they're using the Tiffany brand. So, but yes, if it's not marked, that doesn't mean that it's not valuable. That doesn't mean that it's not a wonderful design. There are a lot of reasons why things are not marked. And one of the most simple ones that I see is Murano pieces that the label fell off. The glue didn't stick, this kind of thing. So we see that a lot too. But yeah. Why have you stopped doing the live appraisals where you pick from 4 different people? I'll tell you why, Divine Warrior. I got a lot of complaints. I got a lot of people complaining. Complaints. Oh, you didn't pick me. Oh, this happened. Oh, that happened. Oh, you're not fair. Oh, a lot of complaints. So there's a lot of opportunities for you to, in fact, do this. I'm not saying I won't bring this back. I may bring it back. But when I'm doing something like that and I'm only hearing negative and complaints, I don't know where all you positive people were. So, if you want something like that, I do give that opportunity. You have to go to our website and do it. But that's the reason why we have curtailed that for the time being. I mean, I'm not saying never say never. I might bring it back. But with all the complaints I heard, I don't need to hear all these complaints, So I give this to you and I give you that opportunity in a different way. And just like Jessica said in one of these comments, you could I'll look at your pieces. You send me the photo. I look at them. I review them myself. I look at them. If it's not worth the cost of the appraisal, I tell you that. So, Lynn, when I can't find an artist on a signed or numbered art piece, which registry would you look to find the artist? Seems like they all want a fee to join. Is there one which is comprehensive? Well, this is a good question, but basically I will say a couple of things. First of all, there are many different places where you can look to find an artist, and it's called whether or not an artist is listed. And from an art historian standpoint, the way you would find a listed artist is in some books. There are a couple books that actually report on listed artists, those artists that have had exhibitions or such. Thank you very much for the second super chat or super sticker of the evening. So we've received 2. I appreciate that very much, Chris. You're always great to support it. I appreciate the support of all of you. If you'd like to do super chats or super stickers, you may. A couple of things about that. You can look in many different places. Thank you, Melissa. Many different places you can look. But the 2 books that most people are looking at that have been revered as credible information is, of course, Benezit and also Davenport's Fine Art Reference. Those books cost, I think the last time I saw Davenport's, it was probably around $500 to get the list of all the artists. So, And then you have to make sure that that's what you're looking at. You're looking at, of course, a credible source. So, and when it comes to fees and all the rest of this, I don't know where you're looking. You're going to have to see. So I don't know how people can complain about the videos either, but a lot of people had complaints. So, yeah, I don't know who can complain for free advice, but people were complaining for free advice. I agree with you, but so that's why I need the rest of you who are not complaining, who are happy to share the videos, to tell people about what's happening here, and to open it up. So that's basically what we need in addition to your support. And your support could be in the form of watching videos, right? So that could be the way you support it too. But it's very, very, it was something that I'm glad someone asked. I'm happy to tell you. And as I said, it's not like, oh, we'll never do it again. But I'm happy to answer your questions about what's valuable. What do I look for? How do I do it? And again, you've got to remember that with respect to a lot of this, a lot of the information out there is not accurate. It was just happening today. Today, I was doing an interview, and the host of that particular program said to me, well, we don't know who to believe. I said, I know, because there's a lot of information out there, particularly about art, antiques, and collectibles, that's incorrect. Or it's information from people who have done no research and just start throwing around numbers because they're trying to, of course, move things along too. So you really have to be aware of that when it comes to what's happening in the market for art, antiques, and collectibles, because you could be following someone who doesn't know what the market is, or you could be following someone who says, this is a work of art by Picasso, and that particular piece was made after 1973, after Picasso's dead. So now you go, oh. And someone in the know is able to identify that canvas and look at it and say, that canvas was made in 1982. So can't be a Picasso. And this is really important. And a lot of people are really taking it on the chin, if you will, with these watching and following these people who don't know what they're talking about. I can understand if somebody's interested in trying to learn, but you can't sit there like you're a knowing authority when they're not getting the information right. And that's why when people say, oh, your appraised values are so high, Dr. Laurie, they're way too high. And then I go, no, they're not, because here's the example. Here's the example of people who are actually getting the appraised values, and they're getting them quickly too. So people in the know who are ready to spend that money, they're snapping up these pieces. They know that that's what the market will bear, and they don't want it to stay on the market for somebody else to get them. So that's what you're saying. So I don't know what's up with that, Mary, but I appreciate your support of the channel with super chats and super stickers. I appreciate it very much. And anything folks can do is going to help. And I think a lot of people say, oh, well, we can just do this. And I think a lot of folks also don't know how to do the super chats and super stickers. That might be part of the problem. But really, what's important, watch the videos, learn for yourself. When you have an opportunity, take the selling class, take the appraisal class, because the appraisal class is a hoot. So much fun. And also, of course, a lot of information, and you can get pieces appraised there too. That's at the website too, at drloriv.com. But most of all, I want you to watch, and I want you to learn, and I want you to have fun. That's what it's all about. Life should be fun. When you say based on actual sales, what platform should we use to see actual sales? It's not one platform, Mary Beth. It's many, right? I have to look at all different places where things are selling. Sometimes it's a local auction. Sometimes it's a platform like a, choose a platform, Etsy, eBay, whatever, Shop Thrilling, Vestari Collective, whomever, First Dibs, whatever it might be. And then an assessment has to be made. So you're saying, I just look at this number and that's the number. Well, it's not the number. I actually have to make an analysis of that in order to come up with an appraised value. It's not always, oh, there it is, that's the number. It's based on many factors, and people aren't always aware of that. So, but good question. It's not just one place. I don't just look at one place. I have to, of course, look at the entire market. This is why this takes a while. People will say, oh, I need that appraisal immediately. Well, it takes a while to do this, I'm sorry, I missed the big yellow one. Thank you very much, Lisa, for your support. I appreciate it. I have assigned Kathleen Canton etching. Okay, it's number 140 of 200. Okay, first things first. You're far into the print run. That means 139 others have been printed before you get to yours, right? So that is, so the machine is working, right? Making all of these to get to 140. They're going to stop at 200, right? So you certainly want to get numbers 1 through maybe 25 if you could have, if you had a choice. Now, maybe you didn't have a choice. How they flew in 1911, it's frame. Inside view, it's circular, 18 inches in diameter, and it's in a frame that is square, 20 by 22, 22 by 22, with a flyer about her and an etching process attached to the back. Any value? Okay, here's the thing. This is specific to you. Most of the other people don't really care. I'm going to make it so everybody learns something. So here's a couple of things. First of all, you want a lower print run. Second of all, you want a recognizable artist name. If she's a regional artist in a particular place, okay, but then you can really only sell it in that place. Oval, circular, other than square or rectangular, really, rectangular pieces when it comes to prints are the most desirable. Most people don't want a circle, don't want a square, don't want something else. They want, in fact, a rectangle. So that's another thing that you should think about when you're trying to buy or resell or collect these types of pieces. Thank you, Rhonda. So that's another thing you want to think about. And then the other aspect of all of this is it is an etching with a bio and some information about the etching process on the back. That was something in the 20th century from about 1925 to about 1985 that all artists did. There were dealers who said, we're going to give it a COA, a certificate of authenticity. Thank you, Annie. And also we're going to have a little bio about you so they get to know you. And also, of course, something about the printing process, right? That was basically a marketing idea. It stuck, right? A lot of artists who are amateur artists or Sunday painters, as they call them, will utilize this to be able to promote their work. It's a good idea, but you'll see it a lot, mainly on works of art by artists who are not of museum quality. Let me say that. I hope that helps everybody. And if you want me to appraise your object, send me a picture. I can happily do that for you too about that specific piece. Is it possible to have class later in the day? My classes begin, some of my classes, I've had classes in the daytime, and I've had classes that begin at 7 p.m. Eastern time, which I guess is a little early for the West Coast, but that's 7 p.m. Eastern time. I could think about different times. I have not seen this request in such large numbers. That's probably the first or second time I've seen that request. So if there are more of you who want that request, I certainly will take it under advisement, the same way that I took it under advisement when people said I'd like it in the middle of the day, and I did those. And, you know, I think if more people said, oh, I'd like this time or that time, I'll take it under advisement. Right now, they're at 7 p.m. Eastern time. And I'll tell you what, the classes fill up fast. Why? Because they're inexpensive and people know they're going to get a lot of information, good information that they can use. And you not only have me, but you have the whole community of the class members also to offer up what experiences they've had, which can help you. So, but sure, if more of you want that, maybe that's someone from the West Coast, I certainly will entertain that. You know, I'm a night owl, doesn't matter to me. So sure. Thank you very much. How long does it take for something to become vintage? Okay, there are a couple of different schools of thought on this, but vintage is usually 25 years or more. That's also similar to classic, but they usually use the word classic for cars, 25 years or more. Then there's antique, and there's, you know, there's all different terms like that, but that's basically what we're thinking. Sarb Tom, thank you very much for your support of the channel. This does help us. And it helps us do a lot of things. It helps us make sure I have a mic that works. It helps us with the lights. The lights are outrageously expensive. The lights, you know, it helps us with the staff, who of course needed our support, you know, and the staff does a lot of stuff that they really go over and above. They're not tech support. It's not their job to teach you how to use your tablet, you know, but they're nice people, and they're kind people, and they're talented people, and they're doing a lot to be able to get these videos out. So, you know, when you're disrespectful to them, you're disrespectful to me. Most of you are not disrespectful, but I want to make sure that the staff gets their due, because they run just as fast as I do. They do a lot. And I appreciate those of you who realize that. And a lot of you do that. A lot of you, might send a tip on the tip jar on the website and go, this is for the staff because they've helped me, that kind of thing. I found a $3,000 value decanter from 900 to 800 BC. Should I buy it? It comes with a certificate. I'd like to know who the certificate is by, because I'd like to know the credentials of the person who wrote the certificate, right? I think $3,000, depending on the decanter. Age is not a value indicator. So just because it's old doesn't mean it's valuable. That doesn't mean it's not worth $3,000. It just means don't only go by the age. Okay. I need to see it. You can submit that to me. I'll take a look. If I don't, and I'll give you my opinion on it. But I'd like to know who that certificate is by. Remember, if a person giving a certificate is the person selling it to you, do you think they're going to say it's a lousy piece? They're not. It's not. But, and with all due respect to that person, it might be a great piece. It might be, it's worth, $10,000, but they just want $3,000 because they're trying to get rid of it because they really need the money, So, I'll be fair. Let me take a look. I'll take a look, certainly. So when selling paintings, the artwork is, I hope this video is helping all of you, and I hope you're going to share it with your friends, and I hope you're going to rewatch it so you get all of this information, because there's a load of information here. When selling paintings, the artwork is beautiful, but the frame isn't in great shape. Does it reduce the resale value? Yes, the frame should be in great shape. Should I replace the frame to sell it? Depends on the frame. How do I know? A lot of artists actually selected the frame. Some of those pieces were intended to be with that frame. And sometimes the frame that you've got is not the frame at all that went with that piece. It might be much younger. It might be just a different piece. Somebody might have switched it out. It all depends. But when evaluating artwork, the frame has a value and the work of art inside the frame has a value. Excuse me. Okay, great. Well, some great questions tonight, some exciting information too. I appreciate all of your questions and all your good wishes. Thank you all for the super chats and super stickers. Thank you mostly for watching and rewatching. Don't forget the website because there's a lot of cool information there too. I'm Dr. Lori. I'll see you next time.